On behalf of the Calhoun County School District Board of Education, I want to welcome you to tonight's hearing. Thank you for taking the time to be here. The purpose of this hearing is to hear input from our community on the question of whether or not you support an attendance center. To keep this fair, the names of those who have requested to speak in advance have been placed in a basket and we will pull them one at a time. Each speaker will be given up to 3 minutes. I want to emphasize that this hearing is not intended for the discussion of alternate ideas, including consolidation. Please keep your remarks focused on tonight's topic. We also ask that all comments remain respectful. We may not all agree, but we can all listen courteously. If someone strays off topic or becomes disrespectful, we will kindly ask them to stop so that the process remains fair to all. I'd like to ask that everyone please silence their phone at this time if you have not already. We are here to listen, to learn, and to consider the voices of our community. Thank you again for your participation, and we're ready to begin if you are. We're going to start tonight by going over a presentation. It's a summary of a presentation that we gave at our special board meeting recently. It just kind of gives an overview of a plan that we put together as a staff after we were asked to do so at a board meeting by our board. Why should we create the Calhoun City Attendance Center? To enhance instructional alignment across grades, improve building efficiency and safety, maximize shared facilities such as the cafeteria and the library, reduce long-term operational cost, support pre-K through 12th grade collaboration and supervision, upgrade facilities to improve aesthetics and infrastructure, address long-standing needs, and replace short-term fixes with lasting improvements, redirect funds from facility upkeep to student learning, and to streamline transportation and campus logistics. Well, can I give you some of the highlights of what is included in the plan? For example, in the existing middle school building, that would become the new elementary building, and we are planning to use part of the funds that are available in the amount of almost $108,000 for supplies alone. In the music room, chorus room, everybody may or may not know what I'm talking about, most of you do, that would become a junior high building with 3 classrooms. We would spend in supplies approximately $66,000. In the Calhoun City High School main building, in rooms 110, 111, 123, 126, we would spend approximately $12,500 for paint, partitions, and lighting. The Tech Prep building, rooms 100, 101, 103, approximately $15,700 for flooring, walls, and doors. The middle school building, partitions, flooring, and paint, approximately $14,417. We would do a gym restroom addition, partitions and sinks, $73,100. The old alternative building would become the new pre-K site. We would have a DD room there, and there's been a wall that's put up. We would take that down to make a extra large pre-K room. It costs approximately $13,450. It also gets some exterior paint and awning upgrades to that building. Additional gymnasium improvements, somewhere in the vicinity of $75,000, and we would also be doing some field house and football field improvements in the approximately $75,000. The gym improvements, we would consider replace and weatherize the windows in the dressing room and the gym area. The bleachers would be painted and given seats. We would replace the dressing room doors and provide lighting in the foyer and concession stand for security. The football field, we would replace the lighting on the field, have the gutters cleaned and or replaced, and deal with some irrigation problems or some flooding issues that we have in the field house park that was added a few years ago.
I'm going to take this off just a little bit, walk over here so you can see. I'm going to look at the map a little bit. As you can see, you all have your handouts, hopefully. You can see the new map we have. This is currently the middle school building. It will be the elementary with the kindergarten and first grade starting out on this side. And on the south side and heading north, your grades increase. The cafeteria, we have, I call this the middle building, but it will be the middle school building, mainly for 5th and 6th grade. You can see that you have extra rooms here if we needed them, auxiliary rooms for special education, office area, also for the PT, the OT, and other community care, different rooms like that we could use for those. Also, then you have the junior high buildings. This is currently the tech prep. The music room that Dr. Langford was referring to. 7th grade we could put over here. 8th grade here with STEM and cyber foundations. And then you see we have extra rooms that we could use. This is that alternative building currently. Where we're going to move a wall there and make that the K4 and then the DD. And then we move to the high school. Here's that 111 and 112 there. We'll put that wall back in, and then 126 currently used. The cheerleaders use that room. It's empty. We could use that room. The bottom room, add a wall, and that will be another 2 rooms there. And so we have lots of room here and here. Down here we've got extra rooms. Currently there are about 3 rooms over here that are not being used today or this year. All right. This is something we consider the alternate. That's eventually adding a PE building for the elementary, and then that budget would be around $250,000, which we could do after the completion of the attendance center. The cost summary, we're looking at the materials, around $452,881. That is with a 10% buffer that we've added to it. Contract labor would be around $744,000. Then a one-time facility transition cost of $1,196,881. That would be the investment that we would make to create the attendance center and make the necessary improvements at Calhoun City High School. So a tremendous investment for us. The facilities and savings, you can see electric, water, phone. Each of those, electric over $63,000, water over $36,000, phone over $25,000, gas almost $78,000, insurance around $33,000, with a total of $236,053.28. Personnel, we would look at administrator, certified, non-certified. That total is $491,500, with a grand total of savings of $727,553.32. And so, at the time, whenever we sell, or what we do with the elementary school, those proceeds, the sale of the elementary school could go towards the capital improvement fund, allowing us to advance the Bruce Attendance Center project. And so break even, so we're estimating on the high end of the one-time investment of $1,196,881. And then our savings, that is on the low end, so that's $727,553. If all that holds, it would take 1 year and 8 months to pay this off, and this will be reoccurring every year, the savings. $258,225 would be that second year surplus. So every year we would have these savings for the district.
I was was asked to review a feasibility study that we started back in 2018 and worked into 2019 to do. It was done by our architect of record, which is Schaefer, Zahner & Zahner. In the middle of the preparation of this feasibility study, COVID showed up. So it was on into 2020 when we were able to finally get together, mask up, get together, social distance, and talk about this. But this was something that was covered in the newspaper multiple times. It was also presented in open meeting more than one time. And it's actually been discussed over the years and a few times just recently, this study has. So it's been around, but I did want to go back over it because I was asked to do so. Schaefer took all of our information and they came back with options of what we might could do as far as making upgrades, changes, things like that. They came back with an option 1, which would be to build a new 9 through 12 high school for all 3 schools. That would be approximately 700 students, and that was then. So this is 5 years old. That was then. That would be at the cost of $41.5 million. There was option 2 to expand each campus with whatever needs that they might have. And that was going to be in the vicinity of $30.2 million, and that didn't count the $14.9 million that we would need to do the new gyms, or major gym. The third option was to reorganize the campuses, and all 9 through 12 students would be housed at Calhoun City High School. All of the district students would be 7th and 8th grade at Calhoun City Elementary School. The Calhoun City Elementary School, as we know it now, would no longer be, and those students would be separated, and half of them, or some of them would go to Bruce, and the others go to Calhoun City, where they would maintain pre-K through 6th grade. And as I said, this study was presented to us. We were right in the middle of COVID. There was really nothing that was ever done with the study at that point, other than the conversations that we've had over the years about it. If you take a look at the current plan, the plan that we're presenting to you tonight, what we feel like the positives of that plan are that it would unify the Calhoun City Elementary School and the Calhoun City High School into one K-12 attendance center. We know the estimated cost would be approximately $1.2 million with an annual savings of almost, $728,000. We could pay back what we had spent to the initial investment in a little under 2 years. And the biggest advantages is it would preserve the Wildcat identity. It would improve safety and supervision. It would create one secure campus, and it's financially feasible, and we don't have to have any type of bond to do that.
All right, so looking at this, we have some key takeaways. When you look at the 2020 Schaefer study, it showed that new construction or large-scale reorganization exceeded bond capacity. Right now it's at 16.6 million. At that time it was over 14 million. Option 2 at 14.9 million if you don't include the gyms. It comes closely under that bond capacity without adding the gyms, but with that 16.6 million max, we would still need that 60% approval. Option 3 is 16.8 million, which is over the bond capacity, which we would need, and then you would of course need the 60% approval with the bond. Today's Calhoun City Attendance Center plan, it achieves consolidation and savings at a fraction of the cost at around 1.3 million, a little under, and then it's something that's achievable and fundable that we could do right now to help Calhoun City schools. I want to say thank you for your attention during the presentation. We will now move into the public comment portion of the hearing. As a reminder to the speakers, remember you have 3 minutes to speak. A chime will sound when you have 15 seconds remaining. Please be ready to wrap up your comments when you hear it. Something like this. There you go. When you hear that, it's about 15 seconds, you wrap it up. Comments should remain respectful and focus only on whether or not you support an attendance center. Alternative ideas, including consolidation, are not part of tonight's hearing. If anyone strays off the topic or becomes disrespectful, we'll ask you to kindly stop. We have placed the names of those who have signed up in advance into a basket, and we will draw them out one at a time. When your name is called, please come forward to the microphone. All right, Dr. Chad Logan, you are first. For 3 minutes. They find enjoy for that.
All right. Well, let me first commend the board for your willingness to hear diverse ideas and thoughts, and thank you, Dr. Langford, for going over the Schaefer report. Our mission statement: to create equitable, exceptional growth opportunities for all. Now, look, I didn't come with an agenda tonight. I didn't. I want to simply ask the question, does an attendance center best fulfill the mission of our county educational statement? That's the simple question. Does it best fulfill the mission? All right? Now, that's why I'm asking you to commission an unbiased, independent feasibility study to making that decision. Now, I've read through Schaefer. Schaefer is a financial feasibility report. It only presents the cost of 3 options. It does not look at a 5-year, 10-year, 20-year plan for future educational opportunity. We need a feasibility report that answers those questions. All right? So which option is truly best for our students? Have we performed a SWOT analysis? What are the strengths, the weaknesses, the opportunities, and the threats of all the options available? Which, more than 3, by the way. There's a lot of hybrids that we have not yet explored. If we only pursue attendance centers without fully exploring other options, we will miss a chance to create stronger academic programs, broader extracurricular opportunities, and more efficient use of our resources. We'll save more money. I don't want to fast forward 5 years from now and look back and say, I wish we would have. Listen, the time is now. Let's not wait. Let's not wait to make the wrong decision. Now, clearly, education is more than an expense. It's an investment into the next generation. Let's not make a decision for the next 20 months. Let's make a decision for the next 20 years. Now, whether that's attendance center, consolidation, a hybrid of all, look, that shouldn't get us emotionally upset. What should get us upset is our lack of due diligence in doing our homework and making the right decision. That's what should get us upset. So, the purpose of this forum is for public input, whether we should support an attendance center. Simply put, we don't have the research data to make that decision. We don't. Which model is financially more feasible 5, 10, 20 years from now? Which model is more educationally more successful 5, 10, 20 years from now? We've been provided anecdotes, speculative assumptions, and allowing the tail to wag the dog. So therefore, if you believe attendance centers fulfilled our mission statement, raise your hand. I don't see very many hands. So I think we need to do our homework. Therefore, I respectfully ask you to commission an independent feasibility study on the data that best evaluates the best step forward in an unbiased way and publish those results before a decision is made. We need outside help to lead us through this strategic planning process to discover objective data for the best decisions to be made. Thank you for your time and your dedication to our students.
Rob Fox.
Good evening. Some of the questions and concerns that we have concerning attendance center. From my understanding, the 2 main benefits of it is financial and safety part. One of the questions I got, has a fire marshal been called to assist, added 230, 40 more people over here, when we being cold with the addition of that many more people. One other thing, the middle school building where we plan to put the elementary students. I see what we saying, we go put siding, it got like 4 or 5 windows. We go put siding on all of them but one. From my understanding, to block from the outside, but it didn't really safe when it's a fire or something on the inside of the building. We got 20 elementary students in the class with no assistant running wild, and we trying to get them out at one time. And being on the safety committee at the middle school, one of our main concerns with the insulation in the roof, how fast it would burn if we had a fire or something in there. Putting them siding on that window, that just sounds like putting bars on me and just shutting the kids in. With the 6th and 8th grade building, what we putting them, we taking these kids out of metal buildings and put out of brick buildings and put them in metal buildings. I don't know if that's real safe when the storm comes. Right now, when the storm comes, we have to come out of the metal buildings and go into the brick buildings. If they already fill to capacity, where we gonna go? Maybe we done brought 230 more kids over here. That building not ready for a storm. On top of that same building, that middle building, the students don't even use the restroom there. They go to another building to use the restroom. Now we taking 12, 13-year-olds to the building with 6 and 7-year-olds use the bathroom. Whether you want to talk about it or not, that's not a good setup. It's not. We taking K4 out of one of the nearest buildings that we got, putting them in one of the oldest buildings that we got, where you literally walk out of the yard and be over there with them. Stuff like that, we don't feel everything. ISS, we go put elementary kids, 3rd graders in there with 7th, 8th graders. We don't fill them to class. We went back and forth from 1A. Everybody know we went back and forth from 1A to 2A for years. What happened when our number go back up and we stacked all the students in this building and sold over? I got a bus route right here behind Cadney where I know at least 15 kids not coming right now. They might not went to another school. Cadney shut down, National Guard shut down. People gonna be back in those apartments. So they come back to the school. And last thing, much of our discussion been focused on having one SR officer located on Calhoun City campus. With that being the primary concern, have we considered assign another officer to the Career and Tech Center? It's only like 100 yards from the building that we suggested shut down. That is a campus. I mean, they're important over there too, Mr. Bailey, Powell. You put, and with the thing, what I'm saying, you put a little paint, lights on something, make it look real good. What I know, I just cost them. But anyway, it seems to me we just putting the band-aid on Calhoun City right now and saying, hey, how we feel about it? Ms. Countess Swelch.
I'm gonna talk fast. Good evening. My name is Countess Swelch, and today I present to you not as a principal, but as a concerned parent of 2 young men currently enrolled in Calhoun City schools. Before I dive in, I want you to keep one question in mind. One question. Are all of our students at the top of the decisions? Again, are all of our students at the top of our decisions? So let's dive in. The attendance center. Several aspects were covered today and previously at the board meeting about how the attendance center at Calhoun City would save the district over $700,000 per year. Details such as elimination of utilities and 8 employee positions removed were discussed in the presentation. But as a parent, several of those points raised great concern to me. The first concern for me is safety. With proceeding with the attendance center, yes, everyone will be at one location, and the SRO will be on that campus. And I just want to add, Deputy Pamela does a marvelous job. However, in reality, it is the teachers, the assistant teachers, the custodians, the cafeteria workers that work together with the SRO that makes our campus safe. And elimination, if we proceed with our attendance center, we will eliminate 8 sets of eyes that play a key role with the SRO in keeping our campus safe. And as a parent, that is highly alarming to me. My next concern is academics. I have several that fall under academics. Don't know if I'll be able to get through all of them. I have those several because academics after safety to me should be the next. That should be on the podium next, the academics. So my first academic concern is that studies have shown that children learn better in smaller classroom environments and generally have less behavior issues. However, if we proceed without any changes to the current plan, partitions will go up, reducing the size of rooms, and class sizes in all areas will exceed 20 with no room to adjust if the need arises. My second concern with academics. What benefit does an attendance center offer 7th through 12th grade students? Ranging from 18 to a 60-mile radius, students in surrounding counties have access to classes such as business, marketing and finance, artificial intelligence, drama, junior ROTC, a lineman program where students exit high school making $60,000 a year, all AP courses, and world languages. I often communicate with parents that one thing we all have in common is we want what's best for our children. They want better opportunities for our children. So my question is, why can't we work to create the best what that we want, that the people want for the children? My last concern with academics is the science. Science will always be near and dear to my heart. And as a graduate of CCHS, I remember full biology classes. We had the lab tables, Bunsen burners, the full eye stations, the full experience. We had 2 functioning labs here at CCHS. But the students that have to take and pass a biology test to graduate won't have access to that, and it's not currently in the plan to restore with the attendance center. This is also with studies showing that children learn best with hands-on activities. So again, I ask, are all students at the top of our decisions? Now, with the concerns that I have shared, it seems to me that we would be doing a disservice to the students here in Calhoun City and the entire district if we don't simply look into all options and ensure that we are making the best decision for the children at the top. Making reference to the previous board meeting, it was stated that it would take $15,000 to look. As a parent, that is not a waste of money, especially when Dr. Langford and Dr. Cook completed their presentation stating that we would make that money back in 2 years. What's 2 years and 1 month with $15,000 added to it? $15,000 added to it. We can't pretend that this is the only option, and as a board, it is impossible for you to make a sound decision if we don't have all the data. When I was a teacher, I'm speaking as a parent today. When I was a teacher, I couldn't drive any instructions without the full data. We need the full data. Thank you for your time.
Coach Darren Coffey.
Hey, I got a spirit up in here. Look, I come to talk to you about right now. I want to pass out something. It's called a conducive learning environment. I want our board members to look at it. All right, and we'll pass those around. One big thing that I was looking at, I'll tell you, when it first came out, when I heard when we talking about the attendance center, it is what it is. I was like, man, that sounds pretty good. We can get our campus fixed up, you know what I'm saying? But then I got back and you listen at look at some of the things they got on there and the personnel losing their job and the way we're gonna kind of get crowded up right there. And some of the stuff I look at right here on the key facilities, I'm over here and I'm telling you on the key facility, we're really not adding on to our campus in, and we need to do something to upgrade it, you know what I'm saying, with our campus. With the personnel, we don't want anyone to lose their job, so, you know what I'm saying, we try to find some alternate routes. By me being here every day, you know what I'm saying, just kind of studying it and working with the kids every day, my biggest concern with going into a attendance center would be how crowded we would be over there, you know what I'm saying, we would be kind of stacked on top of each other. And that's one of my biggest concerns, you know, the kids' safety, you know, it's going to be kids, like New York City over there, it's going to be kids everywhere, you know what I'm saying? So that's one of my biggest concerns with going to an attendance center. So I passed this paper out for y'all to read to kind of show you about a conducive learning environment, how it talks about physical space. How it talks about physical space prevents a positive learning environment and climate. So right now, I know we got some empty space right there, but with these classes being spaced out, it produces, you don't want kids clogged up in learning. And most of our improvements right here, it's more like walls, and some of those walls will probably be hard to, it's gonna be hard. I teach right now sometimes on the wall, and sometimes you can hear the next person teach, you know. So I just think, you know, and I appreciate the fact that y'all coming up with ideas, that we have an attendance center, doing all the studies and all that stuff, but I think we would be a whole lot better to keep these kids spaced out, you know what I'm saying, for their learning environment and enhance their learning abilities. The next thing I could ask right here, I know I'm gonna run it pretty quick. Have our board members, have y'all had a walkthrough yet? To look at everything. After it's over, I want to walk y'all through to look at what I was talking about with the space and to kind of look at, if y'all don't mind, y'all had an extra time, okay? And we were talking about the attendance center, and we wasn't doing an attendance center. Could we somehow get that money to invest into our campus out here? Because I hear them owners and stuff, it's terrible out here. And I've been trying to get that stuff done for years. I even went to a business last year and asked them, could they give us some money? He said, Coach, we can give you money for other things. We can't do maintenance and stuff. You know, I got the SRO officer. We talk about that all the time about getting inmates to come in and do it, but we ran out of funds toward the end. The next thing we'll ask, you know what I'm saying, if we can just get some of that money, if we didn't become attendants, can we get that money to fix our campus up? The next thing, the elementary school. The community don't want to sell the elementary school. They don't want to get rid of the elementary school. It's got a lot of historical value. That was South Calhoun. And I talked to a lot of people. That was South Calhoun High School. That was the first African-American school that a lot of people, when you didn't have public school, that's where everybody had to go to. And I think about that school made me feel welcome once I walked inside there and saw all my aunts and uncles and stuff on the wall up there. It's still in pretty good shape. There's a lot of space over there. So we don't want to get rid of that in the wrong person, get a hold of that and bring the community value down in that neighborhood. You never know who's going to get it, but once they buy it, it's gone. You can't tell them what to do with it. And then our church is right there beside that. You don't want to take away from the value of the church. You get some kind of business there, maybe farmers or something buy it and put all kind of equipment out there. You won't take away from that South Calhoun High School. We know it's Calhoun City Elementary School. You won't take away from that, okay? I talked to the town. The town is really interested in that. The church is really interested in getting that building donated or somehow talking with the schools on that if something was to go wrong on this. Okay, all right. Again, I'll listen to the numbers increase. Sometimes,
Yeah.
Okay. All right. The last thing we'll talk about, and this is the last thing I'm gonna tell Dr. Cook. This is what got me with the attendance. They said, and I'm asking this question, if we didn't go to an attendance center, somebody said that Calhoun City could possibly be shut down. That's what I don't want to happen. That won't happen. You know what I'm saying? That can't happen. So that's something we want to make sure you keep in mind also. Thank you, Dr. Cook.
All right, Miss Brenda Jones.
Hello. I wrote down what I want to say because I can't speak like these folks. So, hello, my name is Brenda Jones. I've been at CCES for 26 years or more. I'd like to say a few things regarding why I think CCES ought to remain where it's at, and say a few things to 3 members on the board. 1, Ms. Christy Vance. Thanks for always speaking up for Calhoun City School. Dr. Cook. Regarding your comment about why Boardman people were not given an opportunity to speak out regarding the changes at their school, you do realize that the only changes were they received 2 assistant principals, a name change, and no one lost their job. I can guarantee you, if they had been told they would lose 4 more teachers, 2 or more assistants, and other staff member, plus a school, they would have spoken up. They know how I went to defend their school, which is their right. There is no comparing what was done to Wardman to what the board is thinking about doing to our school. Colby Bollinger, from the time you got on the board, consolidation, school choice, and attendance center has been your main focus. You also said you care about teachers. You do realize that 4 teachers, 2 or more assistants, and other staff would lose their jobs, which you stated would not happen. If this plan goes through, we at CCS will be the only ones that lose in this county. I say this because if ever you tell your district that their shakeup will mean staff will lose their jobs, they will fight, as I think they ought to. After all, we're fighting for ours. Safety was also brought up. I know that location has nothing to do with safety, which is evident by all that has happened to countless of schools all over this country. We want our school to remain where it's at, in the quarters. Please leave us alone. We didn't ask for this. Now to the board. Have you all thought about the 4 or more teachers, 2 or more assistants, and other staff that will lose their jobs, and how that would affect their lives? It's unfair to them, and they will be the sacrificial lamb for something we did not ask for. So please, leave us alone.
All right, the next one we have Mr. Lamar Williams.
Good afternoon. I thank you, the board, for giving me this opportunity to speak. Let me just give you a little background about myself. I spent 36 years in the military, 25 years on active duty. And I promise you, the military never makes a decision in short term. When military strategic plans are happening, they go out years and years and years. You do not fly by the seat of your pants. If you do, you're going to lose. And I just want to say that to start this out, just to let you know, without thoroughly investigating and considering every option, our students are going to wind up being losers. And we don't want to raise losers, we want to raise winners. Okay, so I want to start out talking about the educational value in our school. It appears, I've had a lot of people call me, talk to me. I was on the phone all day yesterday, literally all day. My phone went dead about 2 and I had to recharge it. But the merging of the school seems to be like about finances only. When the primary purpose for school is for educational purposes. We shouldn't be worried about dollars and dollars and dollars. We will get the dollars. Let's see, Calhoun City Elementary School has maintained a high rating and has a large number of seasoned teachers. They have a lot of very experienced teachers over there. And with the merging of these schools, there's a huge possibilities that some of these teachers may not return. Calhoun County School District is already one of the lowest paid school districts in the state. And our teachers can attest to that. Staff and everybody, cafeteria workers, everybody. So it'd be very easy for somebody to jump over one more county because everybody's looking for teachers all the time. You'll find you can go to Grenada, Houston, Oxford, wherever you want to go and get your teaching job. It's kind of like being in the medical field. So with that being said, if we lose these seasoned teachers, I mean, we have teachers that have 20 plus years of experience. If we lose those seasoned teachers, these younger teachers will have nobody to look up to. These younger teachers look to those seasoned teachers, those experienced teachers, for plans. How do I do this? Mentorship and all these things. Just like in the military with me, when I started out as a private, I did not know what I was doing. Mayor Coleman can attest to it too. He was in the military just like I was. And you always look to those senior guys for leadership. And what's your next step? How do I fix this? How do I fix this? And without those people to help them grow, it's just gonna be a big downfall. And our kids are not gonna get the quality education that they need. By the way, I do have some handouts up here for the board members if you want them. Economic challenges, we're gonna lose all these staff. Where does the board plan on placing these staff? We are one employer. Calhoun County School District is one employer. They should look across the county to seek these people that may lose their jobs. Enrollment has dropped, but
I asked the board how many people have been allowed to go outside of the Calhoun City district, and they were grandfathered in. Does that mean the siblings are grandfathered in with them? They're not looked at on a yearly basis, to the best of my understanding. Couple more points, and I'll be through. Population increase. If we sell this building over at the elementary school, we can't go back and buy it back. There's not going to be any option to do that. If we do that, we have a population increase. COVID babies are just now starting to come up in the next year or two. We're going to see an increase in those COVID babies coming into school. I just had 4 grandkids move from Caledonia to here. 2 started school this year. 2 more will start school in the next 2 years. And I'm sure there are a lot more people like this. Administrative cost. You know, there's a lot of things we can do administratively. And I'm not going to get into the last point. Y'all can read my points on it. But all in all, I'll fly 5 minutes up to second. All in all, there are many other options available. And the people of Calhoun City ask that the school board hear their voices, slow down, and take a look at their options instead of rushing into this plan. The educational impact on the students who offer benefits at our students, the financial impacts on teachers, staff, custodians, cafeteria workers, and community are risky at best and save money for the school district, but what does it do for education?
Next we have Mayor Marshall Coleman.
Thank you, Dr. Langford, and thank you, Dr. Cook, for putting this on tonight, because I think we really do need to hear from the people before we make such a major decision as this. I won't echo the same sentiments that I've heard all night long, because I agree with every last one of them. I agree with everything that's been said with those that came up here. Nobody came up here and talked in favor of moving forward with attendance centers. When I look at things as a mayor, I'm tasked day after day from an economic standpoint to come up with innovative ways. And I don't fly by the seat of my pants. You're exactly right, Sergeant Lamar, you're exactly right. We were taught not to do that, because the general would chop it up and kick it back out the door, wouldn't he? And so we need to take the time. That's what I would ask. We need to take the time to really do the research. Not that research hasn't been done, not that you all haven't spent some time. It seems though to me that it's a rush to judgment, because these things that we're dealing with are so critical to our children and the parents that send their children to school, that expect them to get a good education, and dollars should not matter. We should find ways to come up with the money. We should be begging our legislatures, those folks we send over to the state, those that we send to Washington, D.C., to fund what we need to have the quality school that we need, and not tear one down to build one up. The people that I've been talking to, you know, they do have vested interests. My phone has been jumping off the wall about this. I've talked to key people, key leaders in the community, and I've talked to a couple of the school board members. And, you know, they were earnest, and they told exactly what was going on from their point of view. They felt like what they felt like, and I listened. So I ask you to listen to everybody here tonight, and not rush to judgment, not rush to go into attendance center, because, again, the people that I've been talking with have serious concern about closing the elementary school. They cite heritage. They cite heritage. Y'all, they cite heritage. And they cite culture. They cite the culture and the value of when they were in this school. And we've seen some declination, but we believe that that school is doing excellent now. And we waiting on those grades to come. Some have concerns of it being, you know, if you all were to, and we know you have the power to do what you have the power to do, but we asking you to slow down. If that school was in a community that you live in, would you want it closed? We believe that if that school is closed, it'll be used for nefarious reasons. That if it don't get sold, and then we got concern about if it gets sold. Some have concerns that it would be used, and I'm not down on anybody, okay? But we have to cite truth when we have to speak the truth, because that's what the facts are, and that's what we've been faced with. If farmers get the building, I have a lot of concern coming to me about farmers. If you all sold their building to farmers for whatever they decide to put in the building, we got enough gnats in Calhoun City already. We also have enough vacant buildings in Calhoun City. And we agree on that. Abandoned buildings, we got enough. I'm here to ask you all to work with the city as you move forward. Include us in it. Include the city. That was a quick 3 minutes. I think you kind of escalated. But attendance, I think we need to take time and work out the course, the plan of actions moving forward. Are we in a rush? Are we in a rush to do this? No. Thank you.
Thank you all so much. That concludes this portion. That's it. We are finished. You are dismissed. Thank you.